the general manager for the Chargers, via the Baltimore Ravens. Very analytically inclined organization coming from Baltimore. They're going with the first round running back in Omarion Hampton, which you always talk about. Make sure all the other pieces in place. They went Joe Alt. I'm not going to choke. I'm good. They went Joe Alt last year. They went tackle over receiver. They're going with the shiny playmaker this year, though, despite a needed edge. The defensive tackle run has happened. They have a need there. They have a need, at some key receiver. There's a lot of good receivers on the board here, at least value receivers, I think, in late first. They're going Hampton here, big play running back. What are your thoughts on Hampton here?
Yeah, it's interesting. So, okay, let's do the kind of running back thing again, running back in the first round again. Genty is special. Like whatever, best running back since, whether it's Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Zeke Elliott deserves to be in that conversation as well. People tend to forget about him. Adrian Peterson, whatever. He's one of the best running back prospects in the last 15 years. The gap between him and Omarion Hampton, I think, is significant. And Hampton, I think, is much closer to the rest of the running backs in this class than Genty is. So I would take Genty in the first round without a second thought. The question is, how high can you take him? I don't think I would draft Omarion Hampton in the first round, not because he isn't worth it, but because I think I can get another running back who's very close to him in the second, maybe the third. There's so many good running backs in this draft class. But if you're going to do that, right, I think, again, they have the offensive line where they can make it work. The opportunity costs, what are they leaving on the table? Well, they're leaving a Mike Green on the table, but maybe that's an off-field thing, right? Maybe that's not an on-field thing that they're doing that. Same with James Pierce. Like, there are players that they're leaving on the table to do this, but you can at least defend it because of the specific reasons that they may be falling. So, let's just say, okay, it's fine to do. What are they getting in Omarion Hampton? I think they're getting physically the most impressive running back in this draft class. Like, this guy is big, fast, strong, explosive, dynamic, willing to be patient. Like, he's not just this battering ram. He's not just an athlete playing the position. He is willing to be patient, to set up blocks, to let linemen get into position. He's got like an explosive jump cut to exploit that, to get into that space. But he is, I think, surprisingly patient, like before he pulls the pin and goes. Where what you and me have described as his biggest flaw maybe is, I call it inconsistent vision. I don't think he's outright bad at it, because I think there's some plays where he has really good vision, but there's definitely some plays where he like hits the wrong hole on power or design gap plays, or doesn't read the right cutback. There are plays where he does it well, but it's definitely more spotty than some other running backs. And that, I think, is going to lead to some inconsistent production from him.
That's another part of the fit with the Chargers. I thought the best thing that Omarion Hampton did was generally zone run, outside wide zone, inside zone, smooth runner. He's got some freaky good contact balance plays and high-end plays. Really outstanding. Where I thought he was inconsistent is gap scheme type of plays. Is when he has to show some patience, follow a puller, hit the right hole there, and hit it at the right time. Thought he was inconsistent there. Well, that's what the Chargers run. That's their Greg Roman downhill scheme. It's not necessarily Hampton's game. So that's what's interesting to me about this pick. They also used up their entire clock. All the reports, rap sheets saying the Packers are getting calls here at 23. I assume that's the Giants. That all the rumors about them trying to trade up. The Chargers were getting similar calls. So the Chargers had probably some offer on the table to go back to 34. And I'm curious about that one. If they had an offer to move back to 34 and to get another pick, and they chose the running back here.
Yeah.
So they must really like him as a player. They must see him as a top 10 to 12 player in this draft to not want to move back, 10 to 12 spots, pick up an extra pick, especially in a deep running back class, right? So they're saying Hampton's our guy here for the Chargers.
And that's the thing. Like, if I was presented with that option, I would take the trade in a heartbeat. I would not be Omarion Hampton in the first round would not stop me taking that trade and getting more picks and taking a running back that might not be that much worse, if any worse than Omarion Hampton, a little bit lower down. But again, like, you can see why a team would love him, right? The physical tool set is amazing. For a guy that big and strong, he actually does a really good job of getting skinny and making it through tight spaces inside. He reminded me, remember Ronnie Brown from the Dolphins was always exceptionally good at that. And he was a big guy as well. Like, again, for a big, powerful dude, his best work was done getting skinny and navigating tight spaces. He also breaks, so he avoids a lot of tackles, but he does it in all the ways that you can do that. He will break tackles. He'll run right through dudes. He'll evade tackles, like with quickness and cuts and stuff. And he'll do it with like explosion. He'll just leap right over a dude. So I get it. I get the Omarion Hampton thing. The vision worries me a little bit because I don't think it's as clean as some of these other prospects. And the fact that this draft is so deep, I just wouldn't draft him in the first round. But I think he will really make an impact in this offense.
Did they run? Sorry, I'm trying to see how much. Yeah, still a pretty high percentage of power and counter. It's just not where I thought his strengths were. I also thought he struggled finishing and at the goal line. I mean, he's got some freaky big plays. I thought he kind of struggled straight up finding the last yard at times. So Harbaugh wants to run the ball for sure. And look, he's still a weapon. I think they have more work to do at receiver and some defensive line depth for the rest of this draft here. Chargers.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.